It's the painted porch, and here we have a discussion each week as we refer to our handbook for new Stoics. This week, week 15. It's a very challenging one because you have to remind yourself of the term impermanence. Nothing is permanent, nothing is forever. So, the challenge for us is to go through a lesson and think about things as not permanent, whether it is, they use an example in this chapter, which begins on page 98, of a mug, your favorite coffee mug, it breaks. How do you look at that? How do you prepare for that? Because if it's your favorite, are you going to get all upset? You're going to cry because your coffee mug's broken? Or are you going to say, someday this mug will break. Someday this mug will wear out, and prepare for that and go, I'm going to enjoy all of the amazing cups of coffee I had in this mug. So I'd like to know from you both, what did you come up with? And how to plan and prepare for this impermanence term.
I'll let Sierra go first.
So for me, this was really cool because there's so many parallels to this concept of impermanence with Eastern philosophy, Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism. It's a prominent concept about impermanence. Now, they really go a step deeper and say, literally, everything is impermanent. Your physical body, everything in this realm is impermanent. But what they take this to mean is that this is a reminder of the powerlessness of man and motivates you to improve your quality of life in order to achieve enlightenment. And the Stoics are saying the same thing. They're saying life isn't always fair. Things are not permanent. Enjoy it while you can. Milk your life, because all of this is just temporary. We're just passing through. So I literally wrote down everything.
Yeah. Yep.
What is impermanent? Everything.
Mm-hmm.
When I love this line here, it's on page 99. Part of Stoic training is prepare for catastrophes. So whether that's small, large, whatever, I mean, we can get deeper into it. But one of the points they make is at some point, you're going to, and I think all of us right now are lucky enough that all of our parents are still alive. But at some point, we know that that will not be the case. So to go down the deeper end from the mug to the further example is how do you get prepared for that? Because you know it's an eventuality, and the longer you avoid it, the worse it is going to be painfully wise. So that, to go back to Sierra's point she just made, and then Amy, I'd love to hear from you, is to enjoy every conversation, or maybe call more or FaceTime more. Take advantage of the time that you have now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really like this because they even say specifically, they said this concept is often the toughest for people to embrace, and it is the one that turns a lot of people off from Stoicism. Mm-hmm. And I think it goes back to thinking it's the misconception of Stoicism that you're turning off your feelings, and that is not what they're saying to do here. It's simply, I like that they say on page 98, the exercise is meant to take the bite out of the loss, but also through Epictetus, he talks about asking, what is its nature? What is its nature? What is it meant to do? Where is it meant to go? And to that point, you're right, everything is temporary. So recognizing that and being able to better prepare for it and find appreciation for what your losses may be, that's really what they're trying to do here. It's not saying, well, you know what, accept that everybody dies, so, oh well. It's really, yeah, suck it up, buttercup.
Well, and they even have they use Epictetus and Seneca, who had different philosophies about this, whereas Epictetus sort of had a more, I guess you would call it a Stoic approach, in that it was almost emotionless, or at least try to be in the event of loss. But Seneca says, no, that's not what I mean at all. That would mean lack of feeling rather than virtue. So he says, by no means, after consoling a friend, I think lost a kid, said, by no means am I telling you not to feel, because that lack of feeling is not a good thing. It's still focused on the virtue. Focus on your virtues.
Right, and it's your virtue and your character that is truly revealed based upon how you deal with that loss. They say at the bottom of 100, it's really intended to help you better handle anything that the universe can throw your way. And they say, the way to describe this is equanimity. And it gives you the serenity in the face of both the good times and the bad, and being able to navigate the entirety of your life. So for me, when I said, I said the key is not simply to pick things that can be easily replaced when it comes to identifying in the exercise, what is impermanent or what is subject to loss. It's really identifying things that you might feel that bit of a sting when you do lose it. So I said things like a job, car, home, partner, ring, money, business, position, status, family, mementos, everything.
Everything.
To Sierra's point. But I thought this was a great exercise to help you. It's not saying, oh, if I lost my phone, okay, I can get another one. It's, I lost my phone, what does that mean? And also being more appreciative of this when you pick it up, recognizing it, knowing what it does, and being able to have that implementation and intention where you're more appreciative and recognizing the importance of the thing that's in your life.
And I love that they bring it back and say, you still, no matter what you lose, no matter what goes away, you still have your virtue and character. And that really is, that's where they keep trying to point us. The focus is your virtue and your character. That's the only thing that cannot ever be taken from you. Everything else can.
Yep. Well, and I loved on the last page on 102, the why to do it. They used some words that I thought were so just on point and powerful, where they talk about the purpose of this is to better mitigate the sting of surprise, to diminish the sting of surprise. But the thing that I highlighted and even like put big stars around is they said, think of this exercise as a vaccine against impermanence and loss, to inoculate and strengthen your psychological immune system to change. What powerful words, especially right now as we're in this realm of COVID-19. So you talk about vaccinations to prevent a disease, a physical disease, but this is truly saying this is a way to vaccinate yourself and inoculate yourself against psychological changes, which is so powerful. I love that. I was like, whoo, that was a good one.
I was showing Rob while you were talking. I have hearts and stars.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
That just was boring. I just highlighted it.
But again, it's bringing that gratitude that Sierra, you talk about so much in your course, being able to recognize different ways to find and feel and express gratitude. And so often we look at the things that we are #blessed with, and the things that we are bestowed upon, the gifts that we are given, but also being able to recognize the impermanence of those gifts, to focus on the loss, that this may someday be gone. So I'm going to be grateful for what I have today.
And actually, I'll give you a real life example. It's something minor, but Amy was cleaning out the office on my side because I hadn't done it yet. And there was a Star Wars glass from like the 80s that someone had given me as a gift. And it was an unfortunate accident that glass fell as Amy was organizing it. But I was like, okay, number one, there's nothing I can do about that. It's already broken. And number two, what I cherished about that was the fact that someone was thoughtful enough to give me that, not the actual glass itself. So I still have the memory of the gift, even though I don't have the physical property of the glass. So I thought that tied in nicely to this, because this gives us an opportunity to kind of realize what our emotional attachments actually are to as well. So if you look at your phone, you're like, you have an emotional attachment to that. This book, maybe, on my car, the house, whatever. You go, okay, these are the things that I'm emotionally attached to. At some point, it's going to go away, whether it's because I'm gone or that thing itself is gone or the other person is gone. It's just reality.
It's nature. To use that as your litmus test. What is nature?
One of my very favorite quotes is, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful way to encapsulate, I think, this whole lesson. Would you not say?
I would agree. So we'd encourage you to join us. Week 15, remind yourself of impermanence and what levels you go through. We'd love it if you joined our Facebook group where we have these discussions, because we want to know what you felt that you had to have an emotional attachment to, that you needed to deal with the impermanence of.
inoculate yourself from psychological change.
Yep. And next week, we go a little bit deeper, as in ties right into this lesson. Contemplate death and then how to live.
Woo!
Mhm.
Ooh.
We're getting from the light to the heavy.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And we're only halfway through. Man, oh man.
That's the point, right? To contemplate the big challenges. For
Mhm.
Sierra, for Amy, for Rob, we here on the porch. Love to see you here on the porch. See you next time.
Good job, guys.